It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be better. I can't wait. Making my move. Live for the day. Sing like a bird. Fly like a plane. Come spin with me, Jenny D.
Hello, my beautiful people. Thank you for joining me with another episode on Spill With Me, Jenny D podcast. It's June, my Spotlight supporter. Thank you so much to Ed Mayer for Tri-State Furniture for being my Spotlight supporter for Alzheimer's Awareness Month as well. And I am just so delighted to have my guest here today. My guest, Jolene Dames. We met at an event. This was a couple months ago, and it was like an energy kind of intuition. We were reading cards and we were just, I was Angela's event and it was just the fire horse.
The fire horse.
The fire horse.
Chinese astrology.
Yes.
Yes.
And then when it was all done, I went up and I don't know how we started talking, but Jolene was sharing a little bit about her story to me. And I said to her, oh my gosh, would you please share that story on my show? Because I have not had anybody talk about this. And she was just so wonderful. And we cried together. And, I think that like what happens when women get together and that they see someone might be going through something or might have had something they went through with struggles, but now they may be ready to like share their story, to just help that one person out there that may be listening. So Jolene, introduce yourself to the listeners and viewers.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jolene Dames, and I am where aesthetics and awareness meet. My whole business is based around the story that we tell ourselves and how it visually shows up in your own rooms. Mm-hmm. I'm a professionally trained scenic artist.
Oh, yeah, you should have saw her before we started. She was helping with my backdrop, with the camera. I mean, the lights, she knows her stuff.
So in a past life, I worked in movies and television and theater. I started in theater in like 1998, which is crazy.
Please, I'm much older than you.
And then I went on to learn the craft there as I was working as a scenic artist.
Right.
And then scenic artistry, like basically painting the big backdrops for shows, like the huge ones that they,
I'm a theater girl. I love theater.
Yeah. So that was how I learned. And the techniques of scenic art I could do a whole podcast on those. Yeah. But the baseline of it was when I started, I had no idea what I was going to be doing with my life. Right. I did not come from any type of world where I had direction or support.
Did you go to school for scenic design?
I
didn't. Did you go to school?
No, I tried to go to school on 4 separate occasions.
Hey, listen, it's not for everybody, right?
Well, the thing was that I had to support myself. So I didn't really have, I wasn't able to. I had to pay for everything myself and, blah, blah, blah. But no, I had no formal training. I have a really resilient personality from having to grow up in a very chaotic environment.
Right.
So I got a lot of tenacity. And people ask me like, you want to do this thing? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. You know?
I love that.
Yeah. And it's taken me, I've done over 50 shows now, over 50 movies and television shows.
Here in Pittsburgh or
all over the United States?
Gosh. We have a celebrity here.
I've done
people like you though, behind the scenes don't get enough credit because when you put a show together, you got to remember all the little things before those actors come out there. You got to, the set design, the blocking. There's so much to a theater or a movie I'm not even sure about.
So it's really exciting because I'm going to get super excited when I talk about this because what I'm actually trained to do is to go in and see what is incorrect or what doesn't belong there. And I'm like a magician. I either make it go away or I make it look like it's always been there.
Right.
So visually, my eye is trained to notice every little nuance. Because for a set, we're creating the environment so that when people are watching it, they actually feel who the character is. There is nothing that is placed in a set that isn't intentional, which works for me as a person because my life, the way that I've lived it, has been very intentional because of the situations I've been in.
So when you walked in here, you were like, you read the room.
Yeah.
I love that. You read the room, like you can see things that like, oh, wait, you need to change this. Let's try this. I'm like, I need to hire you, Jolene. Like you have,
well, you can.
Not everybody has an eye like she does. They can see things like, and that I have never had a guest come on and help me with my backdrop like that. I'm like, we're moving tables, we're moving chairs. That's just what we do.
But
you have an eye for that. And that is something that not everybody can do.
Yeah. And it's not like, I don't quantify myself as an interior designer. I mean, I have different certifications. Like I'm certified in feng shui. I'm certified in neuroaesthetics, which is amazing. And I could talk like a really long time about that too. But, and like color therapy. And I'm also certified in life coaching too. So I kind of put and then I have a 25-year film career.
Right.
And so I kind of put that all together and go into these spaces and like not like a traditional interior decorator or something like that. It's like, you're going to want to use that color. You're going to want to use that color. I'm asking people, I'm looking at their space and I'm saying, this is the story that your space is telling me.
I love that. This is the story your space is telling me.
And then the question becomes, what do you want it to say about you? Because I build visual worlds. So let's recreate the story of who you are. Because if it's not matching up to you, your environment is going to tell me, with all these trainings and things and being on set for over 25 years, I'm going to be able to see without so much as a conversation what's happening in there. So much like I say it like this, and it's, you can have your own feelings about tarot readings or like whatever like that, or like any kind of card readings or oracle or whatever. But I mean, we have intuition. Right. I just have a very keen intuition and it's completely visual. So my friends were making fun of me the other day because I was at a Cinco de Mayo party. And the one was across the table from me, this big table. And she put her fork in something and there was a hair. And I was like, there's a hair on your food. She's like, what? I was like, yeah, it's right there. She's like, how did you see that? I'm like, I don't know.
Oh my God.
Like, I just
You saved her.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. But I
not
just.
a good thing to respond to.
No. But I just have this, I can just see, because I have to be able to see that when I'm working on a set and we're filming, because I'm the last, visual defense against the cohesiveness of what's being presented. If that,
I totally understand that. And if you are a theater person or a movie, you do notice, like I look at everything. Yeah. I'm watching a movie or theater or some performance, because you have to notice what's in the back. And sometimes I've been to places where I can see the people behind the scenes, like waiting to come on. Yeah. And I'm like, this doesn't look professional enough.
But here's the really exciting part about it. So the really exciting part about it is that once I've worked with people, or you've worked like this, once you see something, you can't unsee it. So we spend all this time like, I need to fix this, and I have to alter this, and I have to do that, and this is the next thing. But like really, the awareness of seeing what's incorrect is the answer. You don't have to do any more work after that. Right. And then once you see it, you can't unsee it. So then what happens is when they walk into another room of their house, guess what? They notice something different that they never noticed before. And that's just how we open and expand and open and expand. And changing our environment is so huge. And I learned that a very, very long time ago. And I'm no stranger to having to transform again and again and again because
Right.
I've suffered some great losses in my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jolene, it's up to you if you want to share, of what happened with your husband.
Yeah.
To you.
Yeah. So my husband died 10 years ago.
It's been 10 years.
It'll be 10 years this year. Yeah, it's crazy how fast. Sometimes it feels like 10 seconds.
Right.
And sometimes it feels like 10,000 years ago. Like, did I even have that life? It's so bizarre. But he was diagnosed with esophageal cancer and died within 5 months of a cancer diagnosis. And we had just celebrated our 6-year wedding anniversary, and then he passed away. Because
How did he know he had that? Because that runs in my family too, the esophagus.
Well, the way that we
'Cause
found
he was young. How was he?
Well, okay, so this is kind of like magical story. I feel like I met Patrick on set when I was working on a show in 2008.
Okay.
And he was actually 23 years older than me.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
In age only. Like, he was probably like a little bit younger than me in real life. You know what I mean?
He was like a young soul.
He was so, yeah. And like, I just met him and I knew right away because I think I was around 30 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him and I went, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because here was me, like, I had traveled, I've been to 38 countries, all 50 states. Like, I just rock my life out like that. I had been doing that. And then I met up with him and he loved traveling too. So then we decided we were going to house sit our way around the world.
Yeah.
So we called ourselves the Globe Squatters. I came up with that name.
I love that.
Yeah.
Was he in the same kind of field?
Yeah, he was. He did a lot of. He was like a dolly grip, and he was also.
It's a dolly grip.
Okay,
I know.
No.
Like a
It's
dolly.
so yeah, exactly.
Oh,
okay, so like the dolly is what the camera sits on top of, and so any kind of camera movement that you see, he was the one that was pushing and holding things steady, right?
Yeah.
So he did that, and he was a trained photographer, but he was also an abstract painter.
Wow.
So
you had a lot in common.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. And it was like we just kind of folded into each other. And so it really, I have to say, like, and this isn't me looking back at it going like, this was an amazing, relationship. He changed the whole trajectory of my life.
Right.
Like the magic that we existed in, like we could just read each other's minds and like it was just uncanny, the connection.
You were meant to meet.
Yeah.
You were meant to be with each other. Yeah.
Yeah. And I knew it. I knew it the first night that I met him. I know people say that, but I literally heard like my intuition tell me that you're going to be with this man when he leaves this earth. That was what, and I wrote it in my journal that night. So I have actual evidence.
What?
I'm not making that up. I didn't know I was going to be his wife. I thought we'd be friends. He was so much older than me. And I was like, I had not commitment issues, but I have freedom issues.
Right.
Not
so much.
Yeah.
You find this, kindred soul that's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He likes the same things I like,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the age.
No.
When you find somebody,
Yeah. And that relationship was, it's obviously the most significant relationship that I had. And I write about it in my blog. I have a blog. It's a Substack, but it's called Skewed North.
Oh,
like SKEWED.
Okay.
And my studio name is Skewed North Studio.
Okay.
Because I'm just a little off from true north. But I help people find their true north through my services, because I have suffered this, I had lost my little sister when I was younger. I had lost 2 other like stand-in dads for me that both died of cancer, ironically. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
And then losing Patrick, which, and I don't necessarily, it's kind of graphic the way we found out. So I'd rather not.
Yeah, no.
I don't want your viewers to be like, oh, God.
No,
but we didn't find out in a very pleasant way. It was through an ambulance ride and a very, very traumatic thing that I would spend the next 2 years in therapy for to kind of reorient, which is actually kind of funny too, because all my life has been not funny, but but my life has been based around this like concept of navigation and like traveling and maps. And like, I love everything about like movement and, you know, and it wasn't until I had dubbed myself, and again, this is in my blog too, because I have like, or my Substack where I have it's my storytelling hub, basically, is what my Substack is. And then I have like my main site, which is JoleneDames.com, which is all my artwork and everything like that. Because I do create my own art. But I think it was like 3 years ago. So I dubbed myself the Wandering Widow after.
Yeah, that's actually, you know, a name that other women can, you know, relate.
Yeah, because I was like thrown into the abyss. I mean, 5 months isn't a long time to assimilate. And then we were going through all the cancer stuff. And it was just a lot to take in. And Patrick literally was like the first, you know, steady anchor that I'd ever had in my life. And so I was very attached to him. And it wasn't just, you know, losing a companion. It was losing like half my sentences. And you know, like,
And you know, with you, how, when you talk about like energy, you know, like, don't you feel like he's still here?
Oh my gosh.
Right?
I can tell you, okay, this is on my Substack too, but I described, before Patrick had passed away, I was asked to do this write-up, and I had described us like a zipper. I was like, once I met him, we just went together seamlessly like that.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me. You can't, I will never. So for me, my life is about, it's like a treasure hunt, right? So every sign that I get from the universe is like another momentum. It's like, oh, this is, okay, we're going to go this way. Okay, I'm doing the right thing. Okay, like I literally look for them and they show up for me. I kid you not, 20 minutes after he passed away, I went to answer the door, and on the floor of the room, as I went to answer it, was a zipper pull. I searched the entire closet. I was like, there is no way.
What is that? Is so weird.
Okay, you think that's weird? Last year, I went to France. I got a scholarship. I won a scholarship for my writing.
Nice.
And I went to France. And I was on my way home, and to date, well, it was my last day in France, and I just reenacted from him and I being over in Paris the last time in 2014. I had reenacted a scene that we had done because we were traveling and we were doing a web series for the Globe Squatters and everything like that. And I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm so excited when I tell this story. And it is all in my blog, but it's important because I feel like people think people leave us, and they don't. They're literally like, everything is right there for you.
Right.
Like, I really do believe that. And so I just reenacted this scene, and I had my friend taking these photos because this pigeon had pooped in my hair in 2014 and it was disgusting. And Patrick had taken all these like pictures and videos of me like
it's actually
freaking
good
out.
when they do that.
That's what he said. Yeah. And so I was like, I got to reenact this because I'm back here for the first time in, you know, like 10 years. And walking back to the metro, guess what was on the ground? A zipper pull.
They're going to tell me there was like bird poop.
No, it's a zipper pull. I know we kind of went the long way around with that story. But so I can tell you to date, that was on my 48th birthday that I found that. That was my 48th zipper pull that I found. I've been writing every single zipper pull that I find.
Oh my God.
Has been a very important event in my life. Either I started a movie, I started a television show, maybe I ended one, maybe I tried another relationship. Maybe I was traveling somewhere, but they all showed up at like just the right time. And so now I have this, I made them into a clock. So I have, but I keep finding more. Like, who finds them?
Visual, like, you know, to put that into a clock. I mean, that's amazing, but you're right.
Yeah.
He's leaving you these signs.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm here, hon, you know, just so you know, I'm around. That's amazing.
And sometimes I just feel like his earth puppet. Like, I'll just do things. I'll be like, this isn't normally how I would be, but I'm like just feeling that intuition. But I do believe it's the same thing as like painting, right? Like, so 3 years ago, going back to my Wandering Widow, 3 years ago, I got a residency in Greece for my artwork. And my artwork, I started painting large scale paintings based off of ancient navigation.
Oh, wow.
What I didn't realize.
Send me these pictures.
Yeah, I will for
I
sure.
want to put this in the YouTube
Thanks.
so people can see it.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh.
What I didn't realize was like I had this moment click when I was in Greece and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm painting navigation. I'm trying to find my way after losing him. Like I've been painting navigation now for like 4 years, but I was just painting my way through it. And I was just, again, so you have like the signs that show up, like the zipper pull.
Right.
And then as an artist, you have this internal, as a creator. I don't want to define it as just an artist, but I speak like of my art, right?
Right.
But like as a human being that can create, there is a capacity that runs through you. And I like to call it the vein of God. It's like you
have so many, like, I'm writing these all down. Vein of God. Oh my
you just
God.
like, kind of like when I'm painting, the reason that painting became so important to me was because it's how I calm my nervous system down from all the chaos, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just following the intuitive sign that comes from and through. It's just
the chakras. I've heard the chakras.
So like that vein, like the vein of inspiration, the vein of God, the vein of intuition, it's available. It's open to all of us. And even the signs that come in, you know, like it can all show up for us.
Oh, yeah.
And it does. And it's just like, are you tapped into it or are you not tapped into it? I know for me, when I'm making a painting, I have several going at one time because it's just like anything, you know, you start needling in on the one thing and you're like, that's not working. Let me go deeper. And it's like, no, that's not working. Let me go over here. Because here's a really fun fact for you.
I love this because I'm like this. I'm learning now because I do believe in signs too.
Yeah.
There's signs everywhere.
They show, and it hasn't just been with
people, anything.
Yeah. And it hasn't just been with, you know, again, I treat my life like it's a treasure hunt. Yeah. And I don't even know what the end is, but it doesn't matter because I'm just excited to be living. So, but here's a fun fact for you. I think you'll like this, that they discovered that one of the ways to process trauma is through awe. So I was accused of, for a very long time, of running away from things. Oh, you go and you travel, you're running away from this, you're running away from that.
Who was telling me that?
People that probably shouldn't have been in my life and I wasn't listening to. But again, me being who I am, they just like made me mad enough that it like use the force for good. Like, you know how like the, you know, Jedi, like.
Yeah, Star Wars.
I use that force. I learned how to channel that anger and like those feelings of like, I can't do this and like low self-worth and like all that like junk from the chaos. I channeled it through to creating these paintings and this whole career accidentally. Right. But anyway, so when I heard that, I was like, oh, I'm constantly looking for awe. And I thought it was just like an artistic thing, but it's how we help to process trauma through awe. And
when you say awe, you're saying AWE?
AWE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when we see that beautiful sunset or we go to that new place or, you know, we're traveling, like as I was traveling, I always said I wasn't traveling to get away from things. I was traveling to get to myself.
Yeah.
I was learning about me through all of that. And
finding your awe.
Yeah, exactly. Because it wasn't where I was located.
Right.
You know, I mean, it was where I was located. My internal GPS.
Right. Your internal.
Could find it. Yeah.
Gosh, I love it.
That could find it. But my actual physical location, again, going back to the environment you create around you, wasn't supporting the awe that I needed.
Yes.
Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go and travel.
Right.
If some people are wired differently. I mean, there can be somebody that, you know, has a huge family or like, maybe her sister has, kids, and the kids bring enough awe into her world. And
Right.
so she doesn't have to leave to process something, that's just.
Everybody has a different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get that.
And so it's all just, I don't know, I'm at this point in my life and my career and my art and my writing and all of the things where I'm seeing it come full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I feel like
really
I can see it in your eyes. Like she said, like passionate. If you're just listening to this episode and not watching, your eyes are sparkling because you found your awe in so many different aspects of your life.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you have to teach everybody else how to find their awe.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important because, if you could tap into that and it's a teachable thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is a teachable thing. I mean, I have had people come to me for classes and just in painting world, and they're like, I don't know how to do this. I can't draw a stick figure. I'm like, oh, you're my favorite person.
Yes.
Come on, get in here. Let me just, So, and actually, I should just put this in here that I just recently got a bigger painting studio, which I'm really excited about. Because
where is that located?
It's over in McKees Rocks.
McKees Rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
So north-ish of Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Yeah. And
so you have a studio, like people could come to your studio and buy your paintings?
Yeah.
Just come and look.
Come and paint. Like I do classes, I do workshops, I do.
We should have did that for the episode.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
And I'm not a very good painter.
We could do it next time. See, so that would be a good.
I know.
That would be a good live thing to do, maybe.
Like I scrapbooked and I would just slap stuff on there and just and my friend would be like, because she's like interior design and she'd be putting on, she would take like 2 hours to do one page and I'd be like, I got 5 pages done. Because I just want to get it done. Instead of seeing what you're saying, like seeing the whole page, not knowing that you just want to get it done, just seeing it like come full circle of like, wow, look, I intentionally wrote this. I intentionally put this sticker here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. You said you just want to get it done, but why?
I had a timeline in my head.
Okay.
Of like, for instance, my son's graduating in a couple weeks. So I didn't do a lot of scrapbooking for the third one, of course. The first one, my daughter has tons of it. But with her, like she had so many activities. She was dancing, singing, playing the piano, theater, this. So I was trying to get everything, done.
So it was more of a time crunch as opposed to like a creative, I just need to get this done. It was like I didn't allow myself enough time to do this in the way that I wanted to do.
But it was very therapy. Like it was a good therapy for me to relax and not have to think about anything else going on in the world except doing this page with pictures.
That's the beauty of creating. That's the beauty of movies. When I'm on a set and the whole world is burning down around me, I'm focused on that one little piece of paper that I have to draw a face on, and it's got to be seen to camera. Like everything else just goes away. There's a really, really interesting documentary on Amazon.
Yeah.
What's Amazon Prime, and it's called Perception Deception. It blew my mind because essentially I'm not super great with facts because I can't be good at everything, right? But
actually she is
I don't know.
Everything.
But it says like they do this experiment, and I'm not going to get into it. You have to watch it. But basically and this is so cool because this is all about like we create our own reality. Right?
Yes, I heard that before.
So, and again, this is why I'm where aesthetics and awareness meet, because I'm about the beauty and seeing the things, but also like being aware of all this information coming in and all the time. So anyway, this documentary basically says that we can only ever really focus on 10% of what's in our range of vision. Mm-hmm. Everything else, we don't realize it, but everything else is blurred out. Like if I'm looking at you right now and I'm looking at your left eye,
right?
I have to shift to look at your right eye.
Yes.
Because it's out of focus. But I don't realize it's out of focus.
Yes.
Because I'm focused on the right or the left eye. So it's the same thing in our environment. When you're focusing in, it's the same thing I was talking about, needling in on something and this is the one big thing that scenic painting taught me, perspective. We paint everything that has to be seen from 40 feet away,
Oh, right.
30 feet
'Cause
away.
there's people up in the balcony or
Yeah. So if you're painting a giant backdrop, like the biggest thing I ever painted was 68 feet by 48 feet.
Oh, jeez.
If I had focused on one 8 by 10 spot on that drop,
Yeah.
that would have been stupid. Like I wouldn't have got anything done. And it wouldn't, nobody would have even be able to read it. Like you have to, and it's just like life. You have to pan out. You have to zoom out.
You have to pan out. I love that.
You have to, because
pan out.
yeah, that perspective, when you're so close in on something, and this is why we need each other. This is why I go into people's houses. This is why you talk to the people you talk to probably too, because I'm sitting here just like blah, 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 talking about all this stuff. And you're zooming in on what I'm saying, and then you're coming back out and you're giving me a broader
Yes.
that I
That
don't
is
have
so
for
true.
myself.
Right. Because we see each other in different kind of ways, perspectives, like you said.
Yeah.
It's, because this is the first time Jolene and I are sitting down talking. Like we only met one time. So we really didn't get each other's story. But I was just like so intrigued by you because I knew what you've come from and what you're doing and stuff is just amazing. But it's so true. When I was just like listening, because what I've really learned about doing this podcast is listening. Listening to my guest, being in the moment, and concentrating on what they're all about and what they're doing. Sometimes people ask me, I just had a kid yesterday, he's MMA fighting, and I had a guest on a couple years ago, and he said, well, where was his thing? I go, I don't remember.
Right.
I said, because in the moment, I was so, I got everything in, like you said, everything was in my brain. I was so focused. I knew everything then and there. But like after like a year or two, I don't remember everything that we talked about.
Right.
I just knew bits and pieces of it.
Right. Do you know what that tells me about you?
What?
That tells me that you're present.
Yes, I am.
You're not just recording.
I'm a day by day kind of.
Yeah.
My husband is the opposite. Like he's like, what are we going to be doing in 2 years? Like I can't look at that.
Yeah.
Just can't. I got to be right here, right now.
Yeah.
I was never like that though before. Before I started this, I did a talk, not that I'm going to talk about me, but I did a talk.
I don't mind you talking about you.
She's interviewing me.
We can swap it out. I don't know. This sounds like
she's going to do. No, I say in this speech that I did for this Women in Leadership that I was a bystander in my own life. I was watching my life because my kids were in activities and I was running here and I was like, the taxi driver, making food, doing the laundry, doing all that stuff. And I was not living my life. I was living everybody else's.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense. And it's interesting that you say that because I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day. He had come over. He's a great photographer and he had come over to help me photograph my late husband's 198 canvas paintings that I still have. It's like such volumes of work between the two of us.
Yes.
Anyway, and he was telling me about his wife and how both of their daughters just left home. And I was like, wow, what you're really speaking to is grief, which I know a lot about. And I was like, you're grieving.
Mm-hmm.
You're grieving the family that was once there. She's grieving the person. I say grieving. I really don't like that word. Like I really
people say empty nesters.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a loss of identity. Yeah. So I'm writing a memoir too, of course.
I can't keep up with her.
But
you are amazing. You have so much going.
I tell people they're like, how do you spin so many plates? I'm like, I don't. I have a platter and it has a Lazy Susan on it. And I have all my projects on there and I have to rotate because we are not created in one singular, thing. I am made up of a component of all the things. Like I am a cumulative collection of all of the things that I have experienced. And so my platter is just one.
Right.
It's a Lazy Susan.
Yes.
And I can pull. And it's full.
Yeah.
But I like it that way. And I don't mind that I have 5 different things that I'm like, I'm never going to be done.
Right.
This is who I am.
Exactly. And like you said, our story, I don't have, like I always say that, the chapters in our lives that we go through, like, I don't know the end of my story. We don't know the end of our story, but we have to like live in that moment of just, have those projects, have things going on, keep yourself busy, your mind busy, and that's what has you going through life, and just waking up every day and saying, you know what, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah, because I can tell you, there was plenty of times where like, I just woke up and I put on my, bootstraps till they were thigh highs. It was just like, I can't do anymore. Like, I just felt so, it was just, there was just so much. But going back to speaking to what you were saying, there's this, and you were saying, I can't remember how you just
like
put
you're
it.
like a bystander, like you're not living your life. I think it's as moms, especially my generation, it was like you stay at home and I had a career.
Yeah.
I chose, my husband traveled, so I chose to stay home with the kids. At first I was kicking and screaming. I thought, hey, wait a minute here. I went to college. I want to get into broadcasting. I want to do my thing. But then I realized, okay, this is my role. You kind of, you don't plan your life, but it kind of like things happen. I can't change what happened, but I did enjoy being with them and being at all their events and,
Of course.
Yeah. But it's just sometimes I look back and I think, wait a second, I didn't put myself first.
Right.
Yeah.
So the conversation that I was having, with my friend and about what was happening in their life, I was like, what you're speaking to is like, like I said, I'm writing a memoir. One of the lines is at 9:45, I was a wife. And at 9:46, I was a widow.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two different identities. And just to push it a little bit further, you were saying, I don't know, how did you say it? I don't know what my story ends, or I don't know.
I don't know the next chapter.
The next chapter, right.
Just living.
Right. So the way that I've interpreted that in my life is like, I am now a new version of myself. Mm-hmm. I don't know that version that I was anymore.
Yes.
And, it's like that I watched those versions of me fall away, and I have things documented, in written form, and also like through my art, like you can see the transition.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when I sat down here and I said, sometimes it feels like 10 seconds, sometimes it feels like 10,000 years.
Right.
Like, the only version I know of myself right now is Jolene Dames sitting here talking to you.
Right.
Because one of my favorite lines in a song, one of my favorites, is people change the moment they walk away.
Ooh,
isn't that good?
So many
it's so good. It's so good.
That's why I'm writing this down, because I'm going to forget this. Okay, say that again.
People I can't take credit for it. I'll have to tell you. I'll have to look at my Spotify to tell you who said it.
People change
as soon as they walk away.
As soon as they walk away.
And it's so simple. Like, I love to simplify things because I obviously don't think a lot. But like, just that concept.
No, you think a lot. That's your thing. Like, you have a lot of thoughts and things. Like, you see things, like you said.
Yeah.
You walk in a room and you notice things.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get there now, because doing this show, I can see if somebody's having a bad day. Like, I can read that, because when they come and sit down with me, I can see body language. I can see the way people are. And I'm like, I'll be out at like a restaurant. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, are you okay? And then they're like, they start.
Yeah.
Because I can feel the way they're feeling.
Because you're tuning in. You're tuning in. Tuned into it. Like, the Jenny that would have sat down here 5 years ago is not the same version. You do not have the same identity. You could not have put the energy into this that you are able to put into it now, because of the version that you had decided to be.
Yes.
When your husband was traveling, you decided,
right,
I'm going to do that. Yeah. And when you are not the one making that decision, or you are not feeling empowered to make that decision, like having self-agency to be like, how do I put it? Like, I didn't decide to be a widow.
Right.
But maybe I did. Maybe in a past life, this was the deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe this was the contract.
Yeah,
I don't know. But I had a decision to make once I was defined as that. When you were a mother, you had a decision to make.
Right.
And when you make the decision that you're going to accept that version of you, how much easier is life?
Right.
Because you're not fighting yourself.
Resentment.
You're not resentful.
Yes.
You're not.
Oh, you carry that with you for so long.
Because you feel like you didn't have the agency to make that decision, that it happened to you.
Right.
I do not believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
I do not subscribe to that. And this is also why a lot of times in my readings and things like that, like I get real passionate about people taking accountability, including myself, for how I have shown up. Because it's when you take the accountability, that's when you can actually shift things in your life. When you're just being passive.
You want to blame. You know, I just wanted to blame him. And it was like, you can have that the rest of your life and, you know, just have that burden on your back. Or you can accept the facts. Like you said, this is how my life has been. This is what I'm doing now. And I'm enjoying my life now.
Right.
I'm meeting so many wonderful people.
Right.
Who are doing so many wonderful things. And I'm like, I would have never saw this coming.
Right.
You know, it's just.
And guess what? If you decide in 2 weeks you're not having any fun and this isn't working out, you don't have to do it anymore.
Right.
You just literally don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Have you ever read Byron Katie? Anything from Byron Katie?
I've heard of.
She does. I think this is hers, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm not super great with facts, but I'm just the brain doesn't like free real estate. So my mind just fills up with information like the second a building falls down. But she does this. She does something called the work. And I believe it's in that she says, just say that everything is because of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of blaming, just assume responsibility for all of it. And it's like, well, wait, like, you can feel those things come up in you. Like, I didn't pick that.
Right.
I didn't pick that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, what she's teaching you is how to actually reframe again, pan out a perspective. So, and, you know, it's just all so important to talk about.
I feel like I've learned so much sitting here with you, just like my own perspective of my own life.
That makes me happy.
And I think whatever you're doing the right thing. You're in the right. I mean, doing these memoirs, doing these, art. If anybody out there is listening and they want to talk to you about maybe like how we're even talking, how would they get a hold of you? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
I think the best way, I'm not super great at social media. I am present on there, but everything's under Jolene Dames. I would just go to jolenedames.com. Jolene.
So like a website would be good.
Yeah, my website, I have contact information on there. Okay. I mean, I do check my social media, but everything's filtered under Jolene Dames.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like, you seem to offer so many layers of you to so many people that could be like, hey, this person needs help with art. Hey, this person doesn't have that visual that you have, and they're writing these memoirs. And I mean, it's just like you have so much to say. I mean, everything that you said today, like I was writing it down. It's almost like you have, your brain with these lines like that I would never think of. I'm like, oh, that's such a good line. And I write, because what I do is I go back and I try to come up with a title.
Okay.
Each episode.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what you're doing.
Yes. And with Jolene's, like, it's going to be hard because I have so many different things on here.
Good.
I love this. I love this. So it is going to be a hard one, but I just enjoyed just sitting here with you.
Thanks. I enjoyed it too.
Getting to know you. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you want to talk to the listeners about?
I mean,
I just love where you're at.
Good
Jolene.
push. Thanks. I love where I'm at too. And I think
I noticed your tattoo.
Yeah, which the compass or
the compass.
Yeah.
Navigation. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually, it was interesting because after my husband died, it was like 4 months later, I went and I got 2 tattoos, one here and one here. And when I went back home and I was sitting on my porch and I was bandaged up, I looked down and I was like, I chose a different way. Instead of doing something drastic. And because it's really hard to go on after you know?
I can't imagine.
And like this one is about, again, it's a visual reminder that my true
Because
north.
you're so visual. You
Yeah.
know? You put art. Like I have tattoos too. Like this is my
that's cool.
podcast.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I have my kids' initials.
That's pretty.
You know, our bodies are art.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to, my generation, I used to think that, oh my gosh, tattoos, you can't have tattoos, you drive a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like it was like, that's bad to have a tattoo.
You just reminded me of something that
Now I got 3.
something that my grandfather, it was like a grandfather type to me, said, when I was 18, I was like, I want to get a tattoo. And he's like, I wouldn't do that yet. I was like, why? He's like, you don't know what kind of woman you are. And I'm like, I didn't even understand what he meant. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't relate it and see it.
No. And it's art. It's art on your body.
Yeah. But this is to remind me, because this compass never moves. And it's always my finger pointing to my true north. No matter what anybody else says, I have got to follow that inner, and I have had to learn how to orient myself within myself in so many different times of my life as not to fall apart. And so at this point, like, this is true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then this one is this is interesting because I think it's in Japanese, like they do the really beautiful lettering with the brushes and stuff. And they have a belief that if you're painting with a paintbrush, as far around as you can make a circle is how much peace you have in your life. So if you can...
Oh my, now I'm going to have to try this.
So here's something I want to add. So I'll go back. So this is actually my brush mark, and people can't see this right now, but it's like, it's a painted circle, but it doesn't close.
It doesn't close, right.
And this was right after my husband died. So, I mean, that's obvious. Like peace was, but I was happy with that. I was like, that's actually not too bad for what I'm going through, Right. And then I put a music note in it because my dad inspired me a lot with music, and I just wanted to bring more music into my life.
I have a music note on my side.
Oh, that's so funny. I love it. See,
we were meant to be.
See? That's a sign, right?
That is a sign right there. When you say music note, I was like, I have a music note on my side. I'm not showing you with that.
Darn it. No.
Oh, this is like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm just in awe about you.
So last thing about thanks. Well, good. I brought awe. That's awesome.
To me right now.
I am the awe. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah. I can also be the because I do think a lot. But one of the ways that I learned how to paint in scenic painting is we paint everything standing up with a 3-foot extension brush. So, and we paint it on the floor.
Okay.
And you could see this if you go to my website or on my Instagram, on my reels, you can see me painting like this.
Yes.
So I'm standing up, I got a 3-foot extension brush, and I'm painting on the floor. I'm painting the canvas on the floor. And we do that because when you're painting something that is, 40 by 60 feet, you have to have perspective.
Yes.
If I was up on top of it with a teeny tiny little brush, it would be awful.
Right.
Like nothing would get done. So I paint with brushes that are like, 12 inches big. And, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a very physical way to paint. But when I did this mark, I did it with my 3-foot extension brush and on the floor. And it was, so yeah, but painting is like, actually there is one thing I want to leave like people with is like, I don't care if it's scrapbooking. I don't care if it's picking up a piece of clay. I don't care if it's you, in the kitchen making bread and having to grab the dough and making a little snowman every once in a while. I don't care how you do it. Creativity is the most important thing that lives inside your body.
I like that, yeah.
And it doesn't care how it comes out.
Right.
Like it's you that cares how it comes out. If you can, like that moment that you had when you were scrapbooking,
right?
You're just checked out, but you're checked out of what's happening here, but you're totally checked inside.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that, and you're just doing that,
Yeah.
And in that, even what you said about your friend who was like an interior designer and she laid these all out really nice and all of that. And how you responded to that and how you viewed what she did up against what you did tells me a lot about how you move through your life.
Mm-hmm.
And creativity can teach us that. And I love working with people in my studio and
Yes.
teaching them how to see themselves clearer.
Right.
You know, whether it's in a studio space, in their own space, or I think that's what I'm here to do, is like behind the scenes of my own self. Like,
Right.
let me show you who you really are
Yes.
through these different myriads of ways, you know.
That's your purpose.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
you found your purpose.
Yeah.
I found my purpose to have a platform for people to share, because you just don't know. Somebody out there
Yeah.
going, oh, you know, I used to paint years ago and I stopped doing it. But why?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and then that raises another question. It's like, you know, are you
Too busy. We're always
denying yourself? Like, I mean, I'm not going to say, I also know that we go through, like, the more I process my own trauma, the less writing that I needed to do, the less painting that I needed to do for a little while. It shifted because that new version of who I was needed time to assimilate.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And so that expectation, I mean, I can remember, oh my God, Jenny, I can remember. It's so funny because I was just looking at some pictures the other day of like my very first portfolio, and I'm like, oh my God, these are shameful, you know, because I had an image in my head, but I couldn't put it on like paper.
Right.
You know, and it would get so frustrating to me. And I just kind of given up. And then I went into this career, and then I came back to painting like right around the time that my husband got sick. And so I started painting his photographs. And so it was inspiring to me, and he liked to see his artwork really big, or his photos really big. But anyway, like that whole, you know, I lost my train of thought because I was thinking about the one painting that I did that I really like.
Yeah, but totally, because you're talking about like creativity, like we all have it within us.
Yeah.
You know, and it comes in different parts in our lives, and sometimes what motivates us to create is something you wouldn't even think about, you know, and you're still doing it.
Right. And it's just shifting and it's changing, and I'm not resisting it. You know,
don't resist it, people.
And that can be the decision you make today.
Yes.
Just decide not to resist your own creativity.
I love that.
And how it wants to show up.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Jolene, thank you so much.
Thank you
for coming here, for talking about your story, for teaching me a lot, and just, you know, sitting here listening to all the things that you're doing. And, you know, she's just, if you want to see her stuff, you want to go on her website, I'll have all the information below. Jolene Dames. I mean, she's doing a lot. Thanks, Jen. I'm just so excited that I met her. Thank you so much for joining us with another episode on Spill With Me, Jenny D. Take care.
Come spill with